Got a little bit of a unboxing video while Radioactive is warming up here. It's my welding cart I ordered a long time ago. It finally got here. So now I have a welding cart once I get it put together for my MIG torch in the tank. So I'm not dragging the tank around. Well, fellas, I put my welding table together. I'll flip it around so you can see it. There it is. Now I'm gonna go put the welding stuff on it. That's not too bad of a setup. Looks alright. Welder's a little bit big for it though. And I have to have it pushed all the way over to one side because of the hose for the air tank. It's right there, comes out. So it's got to be pushed all the way over to this side so it doesn't come right out and bend this down and hurt it. But other than that, seems to work alright. Don't see anything to complain about really. Make it a heck of a lot easier on me. I can wheel this around and weld now. I had to make some modifications to the alternator bracket in order to get the belt to fit on there because the belt was hitting the bracket. I'll flip around and show you. So what I did is I ground that down. I got it full of water now and antifreeze currently. When I go to the track, it'll be flushed out and just run straight water, but right now it's too cold here still. And seems to be running pretty good. And I don't have any leaks at the moment that I've noticed, so that's good. Well, howdy fellas, back out here in the shop again. Got a couple things in that I'm really happy I finally got in. I got all my eyelets here. Finally got these in. Got all the wire I need so I can actually start wiring. But before I start doing any of that, unfortunately, I had to pull the intake again. Got to pull the intake because it's leaking oil on this front seal. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right about up in there, right behind this shaft for the distributor, it's dripping down and coming down around it and filling that up. So I did not get a good seal when I siliconed that front. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't, and unfortunately I got to pull the intake to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the intake and then start on some wiring. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you where I found the problem, why it was leaking. That was part of it. See how it made contact here? And it was pressed down? This is where I seen it leaking down from while it was running, right through here. And this is all bubbled up, never made any contact with the intake at all. Alright y'all, the intake is back on. Now I'm just waiting for it to set up the silicone front and back, and then I'll torque it down the rest of the way and get it all put back together. Alright, I got it completely back together now. It's all back together, everything's on, fuel's hooked back up. Distributor, I dropped the distributor in at 8 degrees. And so I could advance it further. Right now it's set exactly at 8. Everything is hooked up. I'm not putting any water back into it until tomorrow. I'm not going to fire it up until tomorrow. Give the silicone a good chance to set and see if we got any leaks. If we do, then I'm just going to have to get a new intake gasket set. I didn't reuse either one of the intake gaskets, I just siliconed it. And I figured, you know, if it completely dries, the silicone, it's going to be just like O-rings, and they use O-rings on intakes all the time. So, at least nowadays ones. If I just silicone the entire intake and silicone the heads and the top of the block where everything goes, I did both sides of everything. I did the block side and I did the intake side, siliconed everything. Torqued it all down now, fully torqued. Now I'm just waiting on it to dry, which probably won't be till tomorrow. And then I'll get this thing fired up. See if it runs. If it runs good, then I'll add water. Alright fellas, it's the next day. I'm back out here in the shop and we're gonna see if the car will start. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the timing a little bit. I think I got it too far degraded. Alright, I advanced the timing a little bit, see if that makes a difference. Oh, let me make sure nothing's leaking. I got everything plugged in. Everything appears to be good. Alright. Try this again. Timing adjusted right, which I gotta get it to stay running first. I got no water in this either right now because I want to make sure that I can get it running right first. Advance the timing here a little bit more. Probably going to be right in the way of the camera. A little bit more. Right there. Alright, I got advanced a little bit more. Now we'll see. so far it appears I have no new leaks, so I'm gonna let it cool down, fire it up again, make sure after everything, you know, cools down for a minute, let the silicone reseat. I wasn't sure if it was actually gonna seal right or if it would just suck it right through or what, because I've seen them do it with race cars a whole bunch, use nothing but silicone instead of actual gaskets for the intake. And so I thought I would just give it a try. I went through a whole tube of silicone just to get just to do both sides, the intake and the head side, and it seems to work so far, so I guess we'll go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool down, fire it up again, and if it still starts right back up, then I'll introduce water to it. And after I let it run for a little while with water in it and heat up, I'm sure a little bit of antifreeze and water got into the oil when I pulled the intake, even though I drained the radiator first. That kind of always seems to happen. So, but most of it should be able to just heat up and steam out, since it was probably just a little bit that got in there. Trying to think here. I have it a little bit advanced with the Vacuum Advance unplugged. I have it set at 14 degrees. When I plug the Vacuum Advance in, it jumps itself up to about 32 to 34 degrees, somewhere right there, I believe it was. And I think that's like the maximum that I can really put into it, because if I go any further, it runs a little bit more rough. And right here, it runs a hair rough. You can hear little pops and bangs here and there from the exhaust. So I wouldn't want to go any further than what I'm at right now. I might actually back it down to about 12 degrees with the Vacuum Advance unplugged. But that's kind of where we're sitting right now. I'm let it cool down, fire it back up again. If it still heats up good and it starts and runs like normal, then I'll go ahead and shut it off, let it cool down a little bit, add water, fire it back up, get it all bled through, seal it with the cap, and let it run for probably 5-10 minutes to burn off any water that might have been in the oil, to steam it out, and then I will go ahead and drain the oil and see what it looks like. Well, fellas, that part didn't work, so I'm going to go ahead and order an intake gasket set. It was leaking in one spot, right there, right where that missing stud is. But when I had the gasket on there, it didn't leak. But the reason that doesn't have a stud in it is because when I got these heads, there was already a bolt broke off in it, right flush. So there was nothing I could do about it. So I don't have a drill bit that'll drill into it at the moment. So what's looking like I'm gonna have to do is pull the intake back off with it when I get the gasket set in, and maybe try to get a new drill bit to drill into that stud and try to easy out it or something. Maybe if I could get it up a little ways, maybe I could tack a weld onto it and turn it out. I'm not sure, but I can try to get it out. I just can't guarantee I can. I ain't gonna try too hard, so if I can't get it out, then I'm just gonna put the gasket set on and seal it back up how it was. So that's all I have for you guys tonight, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off, get it uploaded to you guys. Hey, I just wanted to add a quick update to end this video, and the update is I did order the gaskets. I ordered Mr. Gasket Ultra Seals. Supposed to be really good gaskets for the intake. And I also ordered RPM gauge, an oil pressure gauge, a temperature gauge, and a voltage gauge. So they're all on their way in. And that's the update that I wanted to give y'all. Alright, I'm out.